Gang shit, no lame shit, you feel me? Here's what we got on some shit, you feel me? Here's what we got, some shit, you feel me? You feel me? You feel me? You feel me? What up, YouTube? Listen. Y'all see what the fuck going on? Horrifying truth about the online virtual worlds. Now, if you know, I'm pretty sure this video is gonna be talking about like VR, like all that goof ass shit, like all being in virtual worlds and putting headsets on and all type of shit and all that VR shit. Cause VR real life taking away, for VR real life, like taking over the world low key. Even if you're paying attention, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow your boy Twitch.tv/Tynowolf. I don't know why I say Tino, what the fuck? No. Stop cussing so much. Dang. Follow your boy on Twitch.tv/Tino. Join the squad. Yeah. Enjoy the video. I don't know what the fuck chat talking about. I don't know. Fuck. Shit. Bitch. You know. Stop cussing.
Today, we're going to talk about the metaverse. To deliver deep and immersive experiences in the metaverse.
This game emulates all physical sensations.
Isn't that the ultimate promise of technology? Our mission remains the same, still about bringing people together.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever wanted to escape into another world? To be able to create a different version of yourself, then go where...
I'll cut for this attachment, that's the challenge. Okay, how about I just stop cussing throughout this whole video? It's 21 minutes. So if I cuss any point in this video, I don't know. Shit. Then I guess I fail. Now wait, that don't count. So after I pause, I cannot cuss now one goddamn time. I can't say nope. You gotta buy me food. Bet. Okay, bet. Alright. Don't cuss. Don't cuss. Don't cuss. Don't cuss. Don't cuss. Don't cuss. By the way, those on YouTube, I'm about to cuss now one time in this video. Oh, fuck, shit, fuck. Alright, let's get it. I'm not gonna cuss that one time.
Whatever you want and do whatever you want. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, it's turning into a reality. Welcome to the metaverse. So, what is the metaverse?
Right.
Imagine a virtual world where billions of people live, work, and interact with each other, all from the comfort of their couches. You basically put on a virtual reality headset and you're transported into a virtual world. In simple terms, the metaverse is the internet, but in 3D. But what's the metaverse like today? We're gonna answer that and more. It's time to dive into the dark sides of the metaverse from the beginning, the dangers today.
Chad, do y'all think this whole metaverse thing is like real like dangerous for the world? Like, what y'all think about it, folks? Because I don't know. I really don't know. Like, last time I used my VR was like back in Chicago.
And what the future holds, and it's not looking good. The criminal doctor who created
shop in the metaverse, I think.
One of the oldest examples of the metaverse are the virtual worlds in online games. Before virtual reality games like VR Chat took over, the metaverse was dominated by online games made for children. Games like Club Penguin and Pop Tropica were insanely popular in the 2000s. But one you might not have heard of was Foopets. Foopets was a free-to-play website where users would look after virtual cats and dogs. You would bathe them, feed them, decorate the rooms, and trade your pets with other players. Foopets was opened in 2007 by Dr. Ron Hornbreaker, aka Doc. According to Doc, they had 1 million active members and had around 25,000 people signing up to play every single day. But let's pause for a second, because there's way more to Doc than meets the eye. What if I told you that this kind-hearted doctor at the head of this kids game was actually a convicted con man? You see, before we used Discord or Skype for messaging, people used to talk on AOL chat room. It was pretty infamous for obscene things happening there, but it was also a hub for criminal activity. And Doc would take advantage of this. He would go into these chat rooms posing as a woman to entice rich married men with the promise of more than just chatting, if you know what I mean. Then Doc would pretend to be the woman's husband, who also happens to be a police officer. Then he would blackmail these rich married men for money. Sounds ridiculous, right? Well, ridiculous enough to work because he was charged with fraud and went to jail for 18 months. So after time in jail, did Doc all of a sudden change his ways and create a safe online space for kids to play? What do you think? There were countless complaints from angry parents about Foopets. The site started to exploit non-paying users until they eventually
That's what I'm saying. See, like, you know, usually I was thinking like the classic. He was talking to little kids and, you know, he was doing all type of stuff and he was, you feel me, like doing all, you know, trying to message little kids and stuff like that. But hey, W scam, man. You know, you feel me? He was just finessing, men.
Forced players to pay just to keep playing. Free-to-play users had their accounts frozen, and when parents would call the Foopet support team, they wouldn't find much help.
But the customer service on the site is downright abusive. They attack parents who complain and tell them repeatedly either to keep paying or shut up. And if you really complain loudly, they delete your account and keep your child's pets and delete them all.
And even if you were a paying user, canceling your subscription was pretty much impossible. And we have a story about just that. An unnamed user decided to cancel her Foopet subscription. After a surprisingly nice phone call with the support team, she was told that her subscription would be canceled the next day. For months, she was completely unaware of what Foopets was doing.
Little did she know that Foopets was still taking money out of her credit or debit card for over 6 months.
This user posted about this on the Foopets forum, but an admin of the forum deleted it in just 10 minutes. Seems to me that Doc hasn't changed his ways. Finally, in 2019, Foopets was shut down, and Doc allegedly sold the game's domain to an adult content company. There are rumors that Doc is serving time in jail again.
Girl, cancel your credit card, right? I don't know why she just ain't cancel her credit card, because she better person than me, because my mom definitely would have. You feel me?
Couldn't find any sources to back that up. Regardless, Foopets remains shut down, and its reputation for fraud lives on. This Foopets incident is our tamest story yet, and you guys might recognize the game in our next chapter. The downfall of Club Penguin. When we talk about nostalgic 2000s games, possibly the most popular one was Club Penguin. Released in 2005, Club Penguin was a virtual online world for kids. Your character was a penguin and you would play games across the map to level up and customize your igloo. It was insanely popular with 200 million users in 2013. But sadly, in 2017, the original game was shut down. But it wasn't the end for the game. Club Penguin fans actually started to recreate it. They wanted to replicate the game so that people could continue playing. And one of the most popular fan creations was Club Penguin Rewritten, also known as Club Penguin Online.
I said dang, I did not cuss, I said dang. Or if I did say the word that rhymes with that, I didn't say that at all.
But this rewritten game only brought terror, because this fan game was a front for one man's sickening desires. A man who was infamous across the Club Penguin community, and his name was Riley, the owner of the game. In 2020, an ex-moderator of Club Penguin Online known as Dominic came forward with horrible allegations against Riley, the owner of the site. Dominic claimed that Riley was using his position on the site to take advantage of young female players. Riley would accept moderator applications through Discord DMs. He would sift through these applications and single out young girls. Then he would manipulate these girls into sending him inappropriate pictures in exchange for moderating privileges. Then he would use these inappropriate pictures to blackmail these girls and their families. But this behavior wasn't new because there were allegations against Riley dating back to 2018. If that wasn't bad enough, Riley's associate was a notorious cybercriminal. Keep that in mind because Dominic went through something terrible. Shortly after Dominic came forward with evidence against Riley, Dominic made a post on his Discord.
Hello, I'm informing everyone today that I will be leaving Penguin Saloon and the CPPS community as a whole. I will be leaving the full ownership of the game in the hands of Pat.
It's always... Yo, can I say the N-word or is that cuss word too? Let me know. Because it's always people like him that always trying to take advantage of like positions So I can say the N-word. Can I? Yes or no? It's always people like him that's always like, you say, okay, it's always niggas like him that's always trying to take advantage of like the power, like take advantage of people because they have so much power in situations. I hate niggas like that, folks. I really do. That's really sick, folks. Like, I hate niggas like that, folks. Really, really sick. Gosh darn it.
I'm doing this for my safety. I'm not going to mention names. However, it was brought to my attention that
hard,
someone was planning on hiring a hitman or someone of that sort to kill me and my family.
Dominic states that the threat wasn't made by Riley, but someone who had private information about him. So it may not have been Riley himself, but it could have been someone on Riley's team. Possibly Riley's close associate, the cybercriminal. Thankfully, the story has a happy ending. Disney, the company who owned the original Club Penguin game, took personal steps to bring Riley and his website down. And as of creating this video, Club Penguin Online has been shut down because of an investigation that revealed that the game had dangerous content for kids. Riley was supposedly arrested, not only for the things that he did to those young girls, but also for copyright issues from Disney. So far, we've talked about 2 metaverse games intended for kids, but there's another virtual world made for adults, and it's worse. Costing $13 billion in 2022 alone and wiping out over $500 billion investor dollars. And most importantly, it's ruined the lives of thousands. I'm talking about Meta's Horizon Worlds. The world's largest tech companies all bet big on the metaverse, but it created a loss of stock market capital that we haven't seen in almost 50 years. And if you think this doesn't affect you, think again. As these companies decline in value, so do the portfolios of nearly every major institution, hedge fund, and investing platform, including investors like me and you. But there's one market that performed better in the last 26 years than the S&P 500, even when tech.
Do you be checking on Smart King tablets? Nah, I should though. I cannot just try to sit back on it, but I should though. Man, do you?
Soared, the art market. Now you can access it in minutes without needing millions of dollars thanks to Masterworks. Every Masterworks exit today.
Man, now you should have never said that because now I want to go check. Dang.
Has returned a profit to investors like you. The results speak for themselves. 10, 13, even 35% net returns all in the last 3 months. With over 630,000 users, Masterworks offerings have sold out within minutes. They even had to make a waitlist for new users, but I got special access for you guys to skip it. So click the link in the description right now. And thank you to Masterworks for sponsoring this video. I live a second life. The massive multiplayer game Second Life is one of the oldest metaverses, but it doesn't have the best reputation. Second Life was released all the way back in 2003 by Philip Rosedale. It's a completely open-ended virtual world where users can create anything and be anything. In Second Life, you can go to social gatherings, live concerts, and even attend college classes. Yes, college classes, but many people use it to fulfill their dark fantasies too. Second Life has an age rating of 16 and over, but that's not even the age demographic who play the game. The average age of players in this game is 32 years old. And Second Life has been dying for the last 14 years, but people still play it today. So what's keeping this slowly?
I'm sorry to pause in the chat, but have y'all ever played IMVU? I know people in my school that play it, but I never once in my life played IMVU.
Dying game alive. Adult content. An insane 50% of content on Second Life is adult themed, which means that at least 50% of the user base, if not more, engage in adult content and acts on Second Life. But not all of it is as spicy as you may think, because some of it is just evil. Our writer CJ created an account and explored Second Life, and some things you saw were so graphic that we can't show them to you guys. When you spawn in Second Life, you start out in a dark, dirty alleyway. If you walk around for a bit, there's a cave that leads into a dungeon. We walked into the dungeon and saw that the walls and floors were painted with red splotches. There are chains and empty cages hanging from the ceiling, and this equipment isn't meant for animals. There were even posters on the walls that show advertisements of the girls in the dungeon, and all this is happening to the sounds of echoed screaming. Sure, none of it is real, but who would make something like this? Whose fantasy is this? If this is the kind of content allowed on Second Life, I wonder what else is on there. We've taken a look at the history of the metaverse and where it started, but what's the metaverse like today? It's time to explore.
I ain't gonna lie, chat. Let's be honest. The metaverse is way worse because you got stuff like this now. It's way more advanced.
For the dangers
this is scary.
Right now. The dark world of VR chat.
Traumatized
yes,
from this.
VR chat. The place where a furry and Raymond can have a conversation.
Oh my. I don't even need no explanation from this because I've literally seen it. I've seen it so many times. Yep, the furries and the
about politics, and no one thinks anything of it. If you follow my channel, we made an entire video about VR chat and the crazy stuff that goes on there. VR chat is an online virtual reality game where players interact with each other in virtual worlds. Players create servers called worlds, which can be anything from cozy apartments to distant planets. In these worlds, players can chat about anything together. Sounds innocent, right? Well, you have no idea. Even the users who play VR chat every day admit that the game has gone off the rails. The community is like the wild, wild west, from violent gangs to sadistic cults. And did I mention that VR chat is filled with kids? And someone took advantage of this. On December 26, 2022, police in Utah sent out a statewide Amber Alert about a young boy who went missing. 2 days went by without any word from this boy, but he was eventually found on December 28th with the police arresting 26-year-old Aaron, also known as Hunter Fox on VR chat. It turns out that Aaron met this boy on VR chat, and after getting to know each other, Aaron manipulated
niggas gang banging in VR, niggas throwing up they sets like what they controllers. Niggas is really sitting there gang banging in VR, virtual reality. Bunch of Wabby fans, Lil Durk fans, Lil Baby fans, all type of stuff. Gang banging in VR. Life, chat. This is life.
The boy into meeting up. Aaron traveled 12 hours to carry out this crime, but there was something that made this guy different from the other people we've covered. The fact that he saw nothing wrong with what he was doing. More specifically, the relationship. Aaron posted a—
well, that's not really surprising. I mean, ain't that mostly pedophiles how they are? They don't see nothing wrong with what they doing. Y'all see what I'm saying, chat? Like, is that really surprising? I mean, yeah, he's a pedophile. Of course he doesn't see anything wrong with doing. Ain't that usually how they be? They don't feel themselves, this is wrong. Why am I doing? If that was the case, they wouldn't do it. That's the point. They don't see anything wrong. Just like serial killers. They don't see anything wrong with what they're doing. They just do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't, that's not really surprising to be honest with you. I mean, exactly. That, you're right. I mean, yeah, he's a freaking pedophile, man. He's a pedophile, folks. Of course he don't see no
few
wrong
tweets about his new boyfriend just 2 weeks before the incident. Aaron never said who he was talking about, but we can connect the dots ourselves. He said he was going to spend the rest of his life with them. And quote, I am so lucky. We played VR chat together for about an hour. Today I heard his voice for the first time since November 20th. This is already the best Christmas. I love you. Thankfully, the boy was returned to his family and Aaron is awaiting charges. And if you want to know about the dark world of VR chat, you can watch my video on my channel. Now it's time to move into one of the most well-known sides of the metaverse, cryptocurrency. The criminal's currency.
Chat, I don't know nothing about crypto. Now I mean, come on, man. Do I look like a nigga that know anything about crypto, folk? Man.
Cryptocurrency is taking over the world. You can literally use Bitcoin to pay for a pizza from Pizza Hut. And you've heard of Dogecoin to the moon. So what is—
no matter how messed up that was, like I said, boy, traumatizing. He just realizing like, dang, like I really was doing that. And that grown man was really texting me that stuff.
Is crypto exactly?
Yo, this no cussing thing
is really hard. Currency in which transactions are verified by a decentralized system instead of relying on something like a bank to hold your money. Crypto is essentially virtual money. Many people invest in crypto like they invest in stocks, but the problem is that many types of crypto are just so unstable. Some can have a value of 200, but the next day it can be 20
trillion dollars. And now the market— oh! Oh! It went to—
no, I said dang. I said dang. I said dang. I'm not lying. I said dang. I did say the D word. I said dang.
Zero! That is a live rug pull. What the—
and sometimes people bet their life savings on a certain cryptocurrency
Chad, y'all in the
and
crypto?
end up losing everything. But that's not the worst part about it, because crypto is the criminal's currency. there aren't many government regulations on cryptocurrency. This makes it so easy for criminals to launder money, and one of the most common forms of this is the classic call center scam. The YouTuber Kit Boga gave us an inside look into one of these crypto scams.
These scammers were claiming to be from the federal government. Hackers used your identity to set up 12 bank accounts and buy a bunch of illegal stuff. The scammers could prove your innocence if you would move all of your money into a government machine, better known as a Bitcoin ATM.
And once you moved your money into the Bitcoin ATM, the scammers will steal that money and sell it for a profit. You might think that no one would fall for this, right? Well, the numbers are shocking. In 2020, Americans lost $29.8 billion to phone scams. And that's not surprising.
If that was the case, my dog would be dead, wouldn't he?
If you consider what happened at that time. People were isolated, alone, and more vulnerable than ever. Especially older grandparents separated from their families because they don't know much about technology. They're a prime target. But scammers aren't the only ones who use
How do we know what? What?
Crypto. Crypto is used on the dark web too. The dark web has the most morally corrupt websites. It's literally the darkest place on the internet. And transactions on the dark web are mainly paid for using crypto. But not everyone gets away with criminal.
Listen. Does he look skinny to you? That nigga fat as heck.
Criminal acts. And our next chapter is about just that, where a disgusting criminal operation was taken down by following a trail of Bitcoin. The suspicious transactions.
Whatever.
Criminals love crypto because of the lack of rules surrounding it. But we never said the crypto was anonymous. In fact, it's anything but. And this incident shows just how true this is. In 2017, law enforcement started an investigation to follow suspicious transactions happening on the dark web. They did this by following a strange pattern of transactions from a certain web address. So they dug deeper and uncovered what the trades were. What they found was horrific. They discovered the hidden website called Welcome to Video, which was a disgusting cesspool with over 8 terabytes of inappropriate videos of extremely young people. Members of this website would trade Bitcoin for these terrible videos. And this wasn't a small website. It had around 1.28 million users and 4,000 paying members. And at the head of it all was one man, 23-year-old Jong Son-woo. At that point, he'd been running Welcome to Video for over 2 years, which had over 300,000 downloads throughout its runtime. Jong was arrested and the site was taken down, but their work wasn't done yet. There were still people out there with the sickening media on their computers, maybe even selling them to other people. So law enforcement had to act fast. With access to Jong's files, they were able to track down and arrest over 330 people across Korea, America, and Europe. On top of that, law enforcement was able to free 23 kids from trafficking. Lim, a cybersecurity analyst, explained that it's public misunderstanding that Bitcoin was secure because it was anonymous at the start, but law enforcement already caught up. Not only did law enforcement catch the monsters behind the syndicate, but also rescued kids too. So we've talked about the past and what the metaverse looks like today, but now it's time to look into the future, and it's not looking good. Facebook is taking over the world. As of writing this video, the metaverse is barely in its infancy. Virtual reality is a long way from perfection, but there's one company investing in it so heavily because they believe it's the future. And that company is Facebook, and they changed their name to Meta. Meta bought the company Oculus in 2014. Oculus was one of the original virtual reality companies, and now they're developing their own virtual world. But the thing is, it's not very good. In fact, Meta has only around 200,000 monthly users with 600 daily users. Seems like a lot, right? Well, if you take into account that the single game VR chat has almost 9 times that amount every single day, Meta is doing terribly. I don't know what the future holds, but Meta, or Facebook, has a pretty sketchy track record. So if they became the center of the metaverse, things could get bad. Meta also owns Instagram, and it landed them in hot water. Meta did an internal investigation into Instagram and how it affects the mental health of teenagers. Meta themselves discovered that 1 in 3 teenage girls have body image issues because of Instagram.
They not lying about that. They not. My brother, one of them.
And among teens who had life-threatening thoughts, 13% of British teenagers and 6% of American teenagers trace their hopelessness to Instagram. I don't need to tell you just how harmful this is to young people. We can only speculate what the metaverse is going to be like. But if it's like anything Meta has done in the past, things need to change. And as you'll see in this next chapter, this is just the surface of Meta's bad reputation. What the future holds. Facebook was and still is one of the biggest social media platforms online. It's been around for 16 years, and in that time, it's had many controversies. But one of the biggest ones was to their own employees. Facebook has almost an infinite amount of content, countless people posting on the site every minute. So in 2017, Meta announced that they would be boosting their moderation team to 30,000 people. It was a great job opportunity for many, but these new moderators didn't know what they were getting themselves into.
Basically, they told me that I would be going on to like higher profile social media accounts such as like Disney World or like Orlando, and I'd be doing kind of like some data searching, like seeing what types of posts most people react to and they comment to and like to.
This is just one example of what Meta would tell their hopeful new moderators. In reality, these moderators would be packed into cramped, dirty offices and deal with incredibly difficult tasks. First, they would have to moderate content in line with Meta's terms of service. But what they weren't told was that the terms of service would change almost daily. To make it worse, moderators needed to have an accuracy score of 98%. And if they didn't reach that score, they would be criticized.
That's probably the main focus there. And every day it's, you got bad quality, you got to send it back, you got to do, like all the time, you got to do disputes on this. Oh, why is your quality so low? Every day, every day.
Every day they're sort of hammering that home that you need to be perfect.
Next, they would have to watch some of the most unsettling content you could ever imagine. The kinds of things that stick in your mind and never go away. I can't tell you guys what they saw in detail, but this former mod saw things done to animals.
Ugh.
Sorry.
Okay.
I just think about all the...
If you've been on Facebook years ago, you know, shoot, I used to see decapitation videos, heads, faces getting blown off, all type of stuff.
Animals all the time. And that's what I'm still thinking about, even though I left.
These moderators would have to deal with these horrific posts, and even though there were on-site counselors to help, the posts were just too graphic to bear.
They say all the time, okay, we have these counselors here to help you, but we've got 9 minutes of wellness every day. So I'm supposed to go talk to this counselor about the 500 videos I've looked at today in 9 minutes, and I'm supposed to be okay?
Many moderators were diagnosed with PTSD. And if that wasn't bad enough, the moderators would have to do all of that in disgusting conditions.
And how many bathrooms are there for the 800 employees that work there?
One bathroom.
Oh my
There is one bathroom.
God.
In the entire building.
Facebook allegedly wouldn't even let the buildings have fire drills because they didn't want the moderators to stop working. They could have worked them to death. I know that ultimately it was the choice of these moderators to continue work at Meta. But being one of the largest companies in the world, Meta could have done more to help their employees. With these situations happening with Meta today, if they build their own virtual world in the metaverse, we need to be prepared. Because it's much easier to click off a screen than escape your own virtual life in the metaverse. I truly believe that the metaverse is gonna be our future. Tim Sweeney, CEO of Epic Games, explained that this metaverse is going to be far more pervasive and powerful than anything else. If one central company gains control of this, they will become more powerful than any government and be a god on Earth. Like I said, I don't know what the future of the metaverse holds, but you have the ability to choose how it affects you. This life is 100% yours to manage. You can't change the circumstances, the seasons, or the wind. You can't change the metaverse, but you can change yourself. That's something you're in charge of. Visual Venture. Wait, before you go, click this playlist right here to watch more dark internet documentaries, because our goal is 500,000 subscribers by the end of 2023. If you're a talented scriptwriter or video editor and want to join my team, click the link in the description to apply. I love you guys. Peace.
Yeah! Pass! Yes! WVN, man! Shout out Visual Venture, man. On 4-0, I passed. Yes! Ha! I owe you no food.